Hi, welcome to Patrick's Tech Show. I'm Patricia John. Today we have Atari. Today we are joined by Atari VCS game reviewers to discuss what we think are the top 3 games for the Atari VCS. Our first guest has reviewed many different indie and retro games on many different consoles. Let's welcome Pete from Classic Gaming Fun. Hi, Pete.
Hey, Patrick. Big fan of your show. Big fan of everything. How are you doing, man? It's an honor to be here. I'm very happy to be able to join you. Been watching your show and super excited to be a part of it.
Thank you. Right back at you.
Awesome.
So let's get to it. What are your top 3 favorite games?
You know what? Let me think about that, because I've been just going through so many VCS games because, they've been adding more regularly a game a week to the store, which has been really cool. Plus, they've been throwing in 7,800 games. So, well, I'm definitely going to throw this one out. And this is a brand new one, and the review is coming up on my channel pretty soon, is the Asteroids Recharge game. Absolutely loving, first of all, the Recharge series. I think it's fantastic. But the Asteroids Recharge game, from a person who wasn't a huge fan of Asteroids in the arcade, but I loved Asteroids 2600 version, it's kind of rekindled my love for it. So I love that game. It's brought back some of the retro arcade feel, the 2600 feel, but added challenges. So definitely Asteroids Recharge. It's a no-brainer for me. The other one is kind of a weird game that I never thought I'd like, but I talk about it a lot on my channel. It's called Something Ate My Aliens. And I love that game, that kind of crafting, that discovery, that going and mining, but switching between mining and a little bit of combat, and the atmosphere and the music, and just the fact that a big enemy can swipe through the underground at any time, and you got to go to multiple planets. I still play it. I still have a lot of fun with it. So, I love that game. And probably the game also that I've been enjoying a lot is not really. It's in my favorite games, but it's not a full game. It's the Unsung Warriors prologue demo. That's some of the most fun I've ever had with 1 hour of content. So it's technically not a game, but how many games that you play in your lifetime that you don't even get an hour of enjoyment out of, right? This one here I've played multiple times. I love it. I can't wait for the full version to come in 2022. But I'll just put that as a bonus. My actual third one is Danger Scavenger. I just love playing that game. I'm a huge Diablo fan. I'm a huge twin stick shooter fan. And to be able to play in that world and have the little Atari corner, the custom Atari corner in my base, testing out the different classes, Danger Scavenger is awesome. And the fact that on the VCS you get special content, just like the Recharge games, you get extra challenges, just makes those games the top 3. But to be honest with you, I could have easily given you 10, Patrick. You keep letting me talk, I'll give you 20. But there you go. Those are the top 3 plus bonus that I think everybody should play on the Atari VCS.
Were they easy to choose? Did you know right away it's these top 3, or was it hard to pick those games?
That's a great question. I do no planning when I do a video. So what you see on my video is me coming up with an idea within seconds of me hitting a record. So when you asked me this question, I honestly said, "Oh, this is going to be hard." He's tricked me right away. He trapped me. Patrick has trapped me in this, but they came to me instantly because those are the games I still go back and play. And I guess Recharge from the Asteroid series was a game I didn't really think I'd like as much as I did, and it's recent. But it was, as I started thinking about those games, I'm thinking, you know what? There's so many others. It can't be just 3. Why does there have to be 3? But it was easy and hard. But I kind of, when you're asked a question that you weren't prepared for, usually your first answer is the most honest answer, and that's how I took it. These are the 3 games. Yeah,
I understand. Thank you for making it to the show.
I'm glad to be here. Thank you so much.
Okay, and our next guest has his channel specifically reviews Atari VCS games.
I do.
Hello.
All of them, as a matter of fact.
Yeah. Well, hello, Mockduck from Mockduck Plays Games.
Hey, really nice to see you. I've been watching some of your videos, and I appreciate the opportunity to be on your show.
Thank you. So, what are your top 3 favorite Atari VCS games so far?
Maybe it's not going to surprise anyone to know that my answer is going to be a little bit longer and have some caveats in it and such. Because so here's the thing: I'm going to say my top 3 favorite games for the Atari VCS that are not the Atari Vault. Because in some ways, it's like, how are you going to compare a modern game to, like, say, Centipede or Asteroids, right? I mean, which is better, right? So these are all like the rest of the games on the VCS store. Okay. In no particular order, I like all 3 of these. I kind of have a top one, but I can't decide. So here's my 3. First off, I'm going to start with Danger Scavenger. Why does it rule? It rules because you're on rooftops shooting things with a whole variety of guns that you get to craft yourself. You get to play with teammates. You're riding around in cycles to and from it. You're jumping up and down. You're destroying robots. It's tough. It's really cool looking. It plays great. It's action-packed, and it's got tons of variety in characters and weapons and all sorts of things. It's a little bit of a roguelike in that you don't really know what you're going to be facing on each level. A lot of it is procedurally generated. It's really cool. It's really tough, and it's not a game. It's been out on PC. Well, or at least it is out on PC by this point. It's been out before, but I never would have played it. It would not have cut through the static of sort of the hugeness that is the PC gaming platform. But being on the VCS gave it an opportunity to get some attention. People like myself played it and were like, holy moly, that thing is awesome. And so it is my number 3 game. All right, number 2 game is going to be a little bit of a strange one. Siggy, a Fart for Melusina. Or Melusina, or Melusina. I don't know how to pronounce it. Siggy never says. The thing about it is, though, is that when I first got the Atari VCS, and I was sitting there with my 9-year-old son, and we were looking at the games, we were like, Fart. That's funny. Wow, that game must be really bad. I mean, come on, what kind of person names your game Siggy, a Fart for Melusina? Then I played it. And come to find out, it's actually an extremely tight platformer. Not too difficult, but not too easy either. And the kind of thing that really caters to people who love speed-running platforms. The object of the game is not to get to the credit scene. It's to get everything with a half-hour time. So you do it over and over and over again, improving your score, improving your percentage, improving the treasures you find, and all that. So getting through the game once is about 45 minutes or so on your first run. You get it down to ideally under 30 minutes if you really want to hit all the top records, and it lends itself to repeated playthroughs in a way that is really good. On top of that, the platforming is super tight, and you know what? I even kind of think the farting is pretty funny. It's got this cutesy humor that actually surprisingly works for it. So my number 2 game is the surprisingly great platformer Siggy, a Fart for Melusina. All right, my number 1 is a game called Thrustlander. It again is a game that has pretty much been out since launch, if not out since launch. Yeah, out since basically holidays of last year. It came out on the 24th. And the thing about Thrustlander is it's a game that rewards precision. This isn't, unlike, say, Danger Scavenger, which sort of relishes in the chaos of combat. Thrustlander is all about very carefully navigating your ship through these really difficult cave-like systems where you've got things shooting at you and barriers coming up and just all sorts of things to dodge or else you die. What's really interesting to me about it is, on the one hand, it's very much like a whole bunch of other games that have come out. But on the other side, it doesn't feel like any other game maybe you've entirely played. I think it's come closest to perhaps a few PC classics of the late 80s, early 90s in terms of navigating through tight mazes as a ship. But using the Atari Classic controller, where you can twist to very carefully navigate your ship and then shoot, like thrust using the B button and shoot with your weapons and everything, it lends itself to just this incredibly tight, precise, well-designed game, which is, if there's a bug in Thrustlander, I never noticed it. That's how bug-free it seems. And that too is fairly rare in 2021. The game feels hyper-polished, unlike anything you've played. And then on top of that, there's this whole second basic game that comes along with it, which is a retro version of the same high-tech thing, which looks like it's straight out of maybe an Intellivision or 5200 or something like that, where it feels very much like a cave crawler in a way that plays and is totally different. So you've got yet then another 100 levels on top of it. So I think it's because of the precision, the incredibly polished development, the uniqueness of it, and just the overall experience that Thrustlander is my number one game.
And were any of these games, were they instant favorites, or did some of them warm up to that favorite status?
I did not at first think I was even going to like Siggy, A Fart from Lucina. I thought I was maybe going to laugh at it, mock it, perhaps even a little bit, just because it seemed like maybe on the surface, kind of a weird platformer knockoff, maybe cheaply made or what have you. I didn't know. When I actually played it, of course, I realized it was anything but that. It was actually very well made and everything. But when I first saw it, I was expecting to hate it. Thrustlander, I didn't know what to expect with Thrustlander. When you just look at the outer box, you think maybe it's kind of like Vanguard, but it doesn't actually play anything like, say, the classic Vanguard game at all. And is in fact, it's really its own thing. So that was a surprise just to kind of see what was actually happening there.
Oh, very good. Well, thank you for being on the show, Mockduck.
Yeah, it's great. Thank you so much. And everyone, you can check it out, youtube.com/Mockduck Plays Games and facebook.com/Mockduck Plays Games. Thanks for having me on.
Of course, thank you. Our next guest, Games Just Want to Be Fun, couldn't make it to the show today. So they sent a special recording that Miss TV, she's a widow, will play for us. Are you ready? I'm ready, Patrick. Then please play the footage.
Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Dave from Games Just Want to Be Fun. And I was asked what my top 3 Atari VCS titles were. I'll say, start off with number 3. My third would probably be, find it, would be probably Something Ate My Alien, because it has a lot of content in it. It's a good puzzle game, keeps you thinking. Gives you hours and hours of play. There's like 4 different worlds you can explore and you have to get through. So that'd be my number 3. My number 2 would probably be Sir Love-A-Lot. Why? Because it's a good little platformer game. It's not very long, but it'll keep you busy for a little bit. You can go back and try to collect other things that you missed too. So I don't know, it gives you about maybe 2 hours of gameplay. You go straight through it. Got good sound, graphics are nice, just fun to play. So that's my number 2. And I'd say my top game on the VCS would be Pixel Cup Soccer, because it's a good retro style little game of soccer. It has a lot of content in it. It has a bunch of different teams. You can be male or female. You can pick different kind of weather. It has weather elements. If you pick like the wind does blow the ball when you kick it up in the air. It does kick it weird or move it weird. So, and there's a bunch of different stadiums to pick from and this and that. Like I said, a bunch of teams. So by and all, it's it's full content. So I'd say that's number 1 in my book for the best VCS game on VCS. So that's just my opinion. So if you guys liked it, peace out, guys.
Thank you, Games Just Want to Be Fun. And thank you, Miss TV. Our next guest is an Atari VCS game reviewer, but he also reviews lots of other interesting things like action figures, movies, and ales. I'm talking about Podan from the YouTube channel I love. Hi, Podan.
Hello, Patrick. Thank you so much for having me here.
Of course, I'm so glad you can make it.
No problem. So,
Oh, and I'm sorry, I was fine up until this point, but I got fiberglass insulation in my underwear. So if you see me moving around a lot, I'm not trying to be impatient. I'm just itchy.
No problem. We all have problems sometimes.
What are your top 3 games, Hodan, for the Atari VCS?
Thank you. Yes, my first game I would like to bring up was a launch title, and it goes by the name Thrustlander. I absolutely loved this game because of its use of the joystick. It used the spinner like the old Asteroids video game would have been, and I absolutely loved how many levels there were, over 100 levels. There are upgrades, multiple weapons to use. There are even 3 modes: blow up everything, race, and retro. My number 2 game is a later release, Something Ate My Alien. This is a beautiful game with hand-drawn graphics, makes you think kind of Terraria maybe, but feels more like a Metroid game because it's not just about digging, it's about finding everything, then defeating the boss of each world. And this game is absolutely wonderful. Make sure you get it. And third, of course, I need to talk about the Recharge titles. Asteroids Recharged was just released and is my favorite Recharge title. It is wonderful to see my favorite Atari game recharged with upgrades, beautiful graphics, and endless fun for everyone. And make sure you play the other ones as well, because Black Widow, Centipede, and Missile Command are all amazing.
Very cool, Hodan. And I'm curious, you mentioned the joystick controller. Is that what you like to use the most with your games? Is that your go-to?
It ends up being the go-to if it works the best. Because I find sometimes it doesn't work the best. Like Black Widow Recharge is a great example. Some people might like to use it, but for me, it's a twin stick shooter, and I'm going to go for my modern controller to have 2 joysticks in my hands.
Very cool, I understand. Well, thank you, Hodan, for being on the show. I'm very glad you could make it.
Thank you, Patrick, for having me. It was wonderful.
Now I'm going to say what my top 3 games are so far. My first pick is Atto. I really love this game. It's got a simple yet touching story that develops in small pieces throughout the game. The visuals, the music, and the sound design all adds up to a great atmosphere. The controls seem simple at first, but as the game progresses, there are a surprising amount of moves that become unlocked that you'll need to use. I love games that challenge my mind and my reaction time, and this is one of those rare games that does both. There were so many times when I thought, what am I supposed to do here? And then I'd figure it out and go, oh my gosh, can I do this? And then after trying and failing a lot, I'd start to get a little better, and then better, and then even better. And finally I'd pull it off and go, yes! It was a very rewarding experience. My next choice is another game that goes with a retro-inspired visual design, but it's very different than my first choice. It's the point-and-click adventure, The Dark Side Detective. The goal of this game is to solve 6 different cases involving the paranormal. And if you solve all 6, you're given 3 bonus cases, which are just as great as everything that comes in the main game. This game is addictive. I found myself having to play it every night until it was over. I aimed to complete a case a night, but there was a couple that went over a couple nights. The cases are all individual, but there is some overarching story elements and characters, which is nice. Even though the graphics are simple, there is something very appealing about them to me. Maybe it has something to do with the lighting and the color palette. I can't quite put my finger on it. It's hard to put down, which is what we all want from a game, right? So I recommend it, especially if you're a fan of the point-and-click adventure game. My last top 3 pick is Danger Scavenger. This is a fun game that's got a cyberpunk thing going on. You pick from different characters that have different qualities, and there are tons of weapons and items that you use to try to clear rooftops of robotic threats. And you can take different weapons and items and craft them together. But what really makes this game shine for me is as a co-op game. If I have a friend or family member over, I love seeing how long we'll survive together, taking on wave after wave of enemies. If you both die, then it's back to the beginning. But if you clear a building and make it to the next one, make sure to save the game from the menu. So then you can stop playing if you want, and then the next time you play, you'll be starting from the beginning of that particular building, and not the beginning of the whole game. It's a fun challenge and a ton of fun to play with a friend. Okay, that completes everyone's top 3 favorite games on the Atari VCS. Looks like there were a few favorites we had in common. Asteroids Recharged, Something Ate My Alien, Thrustlander, and Danger Scavenger. So if you get an Atari VCS, these might be games to look into. Okay, I'd like to thank again Classy Gaming Fun, Mockduck Plays Games, Games Just Wanna Be Fun, and I Love for being a part of this video. Check out their channels to see more Atari VCS content. Well, thanks for watching. I hope you yeah, I hope you learned something. And
Hi, Patrick.
hi. Who are you?
I'm Patricia John from Another Reality.
Okay. Well, I'm making a video right now, so we'll talk about this when I'm done.
Is this the best Atari game video?
Yeah?
Did anybody pick ET 2000?
No. That game doesn't exist in this reality.
Okay, I'm gonna eat my snack, my canned oysters now.
Thanks for watching. I hope you learned something. If you have an Atari VCS, what's your favorite game? And if you don't have one, which game looked the most interesting to you? Put the answers in the comments and talk amongst yourselves. Well, I guess I'll go get going and talk to myself as a little girl. Bye.